I'm so busy criticizing every video game I come into contact with that I can't just enjoy things anymore. The curse of being incredibly intelligent and funny. In 2001, Sega released a little game for the Dreamcast called Sonic Adventure 2. I was 3 years old at the time, so I didn't play it, but when Adventure 2 Battle released a year later, my child brain was slowly gaining true consciousness, to the point where one of my first memories ever is when my friend's little sister spilled Coke all over my GameCube. You don't understand, we were playing two-player Emerald Hunt, I was Tikal, my friend was Chaos, the map was Aquatic Mine, and while I don't remember how the match was going, I was probably winning because I'm just awesome. Needless to say, Sonic Adventure 2 solidified itself as one of my favorite games of all time. I listened to the music for years on end and looked back on it fondly as I grew up, but then, in 2016, I made a mistake. As a fledgling YouTuber looking to diversify my content, I decided to revisit the game and make a silly review, and quickly discovered that many segments of the game were not as fun as I remembered. That, or I probably never made it to Canon's core as a 5-year-old because I sucked at video games. I rescind my statement about beating my friend at Emerald Hunt before the incident. Despite all this, I still love Sonic Adventure 2. But why? Well, it's about the experience. Now, I don't bring all this up to make an isolated point about the power of nostalgia, but to instead talk about a larger phenomenon within the gaming sphere, and how it's impacted both the way I view games as a self-proclaimed video essay writer, along with the gaming community at large. I'm not trying to say that I hate talking about games, or that criticism is inherently a negative thing. I think it's fun enough that I kinda sorta turned it into my job. I like criticizing manipulative practices and mechanics I think could be improved while gushing about the things I love, but when I play games nowadays, I'm so often looking at them with a subconscious lens of how they could be incorporated into a video, or what I could say about them in an interesting analytical sense. Pokemon was one of my favorite things in the world growing up, but it's become a series I'm so hypercritical of these days that I look at people that enjoyed Legends Arceus, and I'm like, how? How do you do that? What I am trying to say, though, is that it doesn't matter how many times I play through Sonic Adventure 2 and rediscover how rage-inducing half the levels are. It doesn't matter that I called it objectively bad in one of my old videos, and it doesn't matter. Now what happens? I will never give up the fight! What I'm trying to tell both you, dear viewer, and myself, if he'd listen, is that it's okay for childlike wonder and dumbfounded happiness to win on occasion. You can just like something because it's cool or because it has a boss fight where you rail grind on a big lizard. You don't need to write a college thesis for your own feelings to be justified, and the college thesis someone else has written doesn't invalidate your own feelings. Sonic Adventure 2 is so stylized and cheesy and funny and stupid and sometimes fun that it's one of my favorite games of all time, even though the pish-posh writer in me is getting upset. Yeah, stay mad, you'll get your chance when Frontiers comes out, it's time for a stupid video. Oh, shut up. The main reason I'm making this video is because I feel like the issue extends beyond just myself, or game reviewers and writers in general. You know what they say, everybody's a critic. Wait, who says that? Oh, it's fucking Zach from League of Legends. Whether it's people looking to argue on the internet or give their detailed review on Steam or make another bizarro concept video essay, there's a lot of people looking to share their opinions. This might be the pettiest thing I've ever been upset about, but I absolutely despise this copy and paste checkbox template that so many people use to review games on Steam. This strange attempt at organized objectivity entirely removes the explanation or context that would make Dark Souls difficulty or watching paint dry gameplay make a hint of sense. It tells me next to nothing about how the person actually felt, nor is there any interesting evaluation of what the game might be trying to convey. Graphics? I play games that could probably run on my 2007 iPod Touch. What the fuck is a graphic? Gameplay? I'm not even gonna start with that one. Audio? Okay, does that mean music or sound design or balancing or audience? Yeah, sign me up for the grandma games. Difficulty? Dark Souls is unironically an option. Grind? Grinding isn't even a concept in so many video games. Story? Okay, but like how would a single checkbox warn me that before your eyes could throw hands? Game time? Oh boy, the hour count obsession is another topic for another video. Price? Oh boy, the hour count obsession is another topic for another video. Bugs? Alright, you can have that one. I could try filling out this template to the best of my ability, hesitating on my complex thoughts involving each category. Is the Chow Garden a grinding mechanic? Or I could just write my own review for Sonic Adventure 2 that says, sometimes this game feels like walking over broken glass while getting my eardrums ruptured by a smoke alarm, but other times you go fast and it's kind of fun. And that makes more sense. I think. I've become so engrossed with the world of game writing and video essays because there's so much value to be found in an individual's experience with a game, especially once you understand the kinds of media they're typically interested in. Donkey mentions this in his video about game critics. Understanding the person behind the review is important. If someone like me says I enjoyed Breath of the Wild despite hating most open worlds, or if Donkey himself says he likes an RPG, everyone goes, holy shit, what's going on with that game? Video games can be such personal journeys that simple number scales and quote-unquote objective reviews often fail to convey the writer's individual takeaways or let their personal feelings shine through, and I often wonder if the current state of criticism impacts the way the average person interacts with each new game. With the way so many reviews are structured, it feels like people are searching for talking points to critique, back-of-the-box claims about innovation, controversial takes on character writing, or incessant comparisons to other well-known titles. There's something to be said for establishing your own format as a reviewer, but I just don't think the traditional story, graphics, gameplay, difficulty 8.127 out of 10 is an engaging format to describe the complex multimedia experiences we call video games, when compared to relaying one's own experience to the viewer in a unique and interesting way. But don't even get me started on trying to actually share those experiences online. I can just say The Last of Us 2, and if you're vaguely tapped into gaming culture, you probably know what I'm talking about. But if you don't look it up or anything. Completely unrelated, what's it like to be happy? Internet discourse has become so volatile over the years that to like a game, you have to know exactly why you like it and explain it in a way that sounds like you're a lifeless Wikipedia article, lest you be told that your opinion is indeed subjective. This landscape of constant arguing leads people to become very defensive of their favorite titles, because there will always be others that get a kick out of acting high and mighty for not liking said popular game, or those that missed the English lesson about not writing "I think" at the beginning of every sentence. And I mean, of course I'm guilty of this to some degree. I've become incapable of not taking a jab at Genshin Impact in almost every video I've made this year. However, I do think there's a difference between analytical criticism and emotionally charged statements made to piss off fans of any given series. You know what, I guess I technically do both. What I'm saying is, I'm tired of opinions being presented as objective, even when they are, in fact, just opinions. A real objective review would be incredibly boring and not at all helpful, and would probably go something like this. Sonic Adventure 2 is a platforming game released in 2001 for the Sega Dreamcast, where you play as Sonic and friends. It has 3D graphics, plays cutscenes in between levels, and even has a jump button. Okay, but like, is it fun? Saying things like the movement feels good, or the game is challenging, or the music is awesome, these are all opinions. Every game review you've ever read or watched has included someone's opinion, no matter how said opinion was presented. When it comes to discussing games in any meaningful capacity, very few people are interested in actual objectivity. For many games, things that are considered to be fact are often just the loudest opinions that have solidified over time. Bias and subjectivity see are integral in recommending a video game or dissuading others from playing it, but in the same vein, opinion pieces generally don't exist for the purpose of tearing down any opposing views. Out of the thousands and thousands of comments I've received, there's one that's planted itself in the back of my mind like a little parasite since I read it 3 years ago. It was on a video I made about why Mario Odyssey is one of my favorite games, and it said, "May I interrupt you real quick and tell you, you're wrong." The game looked beautiful and charming and had a great soundtrack, but it was painfully short, had a horrible skill curve, super generic level design, a lot of boring boss fights, and it pretty much only existed out of filler content. Watch the review from Joseph Anderson and tell me you still like it afterwards. How do you look at someone that loves a video game and go, yeah, this person is clearly in the dark. Playing the video game is nothing compared to watching a video about it? And the funniest part is, Joseph Anderson has a fantastic video called Subjectivity is Implied where he discusses this exact topic. While debating a piece of media with someone might open your eyes to hidden meanings or flaws you didn't previously notice, finding a video that supports your opinion and trying to use it as some sort of mind-changing weapon isn't really a productive way to go about critiquing something. However, with so many posts and think pieces and 5-hour video essays and Steam reviews and comment threads, it can be hard to dive into any given game without a bunch of disjointed expectations. The overwhelming, unceasing barrage of content can drastically affect the pieces of media you choose to spend your valuable time on, or cause you to stress and reconsider things you were confident in enjoying, and I can definitely say I suffer from this to a pretty extreme degree. Even if I'm a pre-existing fan of a franchise, or just excited for a new game, a single negative comment is enough to plant that seed of doubt and cause me to start hyper-analyzing things as I play. It's gotten so bad that I try to watch or read as little as possible about a game until I'm completely done with it. I know that living in a bubble isn't usually the best choice, and there's a whole other discussion to be had about spoilers and secrets, but for now, avoiding most opinions until I've formed an opinion of my own goes a long way in helping me enjoy a game more naturally. Personally, I'm gonna go into Sonic Frontiers with the mindset of a lobotomized toddler, so I can be excited for 2 seconds before the harsh reality helps me cry myself to sleep at night. I envy people that can just play a game and have fun. How do you just turn your brain off? Like, I can do it when I play Bloons Tower Defense, sure, but for a regular single-player experience, I'm just grasping at straws here. I don't even know how to end this video yet. I'm just gonna go play a game in my backlog or something. Metal Gear Rising looks kinda cool.
I've got my own war to fight.
That was awesome. Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. It's probably the video game ever made. I will never give it a score, and I hesitate to even attempt to compare it to Platinum's other titles because who fucking cares? Where most games operate at maybe 60 to 80% for a runtime of 10 to 30 hours, Metal Gear Rising functions similarly to the former CEO of Costco when they tried to change the price of the hot dog. If you let up on the gas even once, I will fucking kill you. I might have finished the whole thing in 6 hours, but I don't give a damn about the hour count. It's a game I don't even want to review because it's so fucking stupid and awesome. I wasn't thinking about whether or not the block mechanic was too generous or if the camera was bugging out a little bit in some areas. The subconscious critic in my brain was being physically pummeled by the pure adrenaline running through my veins, forcing me to scream, "Dead on!" with Raiden every time he cracked open a fresh Gatorade spine. What I'm trying to get at here, just like I did with Sonic Adventure 2, is that Metal Gear Rising was all about the experience. A Steam checklist about graphics or sound effects or gameplay, or a massive video hyper-analyzing every second of action could never have explained the feeling of playing Revengeance. Except for the one I found that made a new checkbox for every category called Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. That one's pretty good. Maybe what I'm saying here is that there's a part of games that none of us can entirely analyze or review. It's how they make us feel. You know, the art part. I kinda like that part. I, along with my other video essay colleagues in crime, do what we can to tell stories and share personal experiences about our favorite games. But the idea that criticism, reviews, and internet discourse can scare people away from things they might have enjoyed is kinda unfortunate. Microtransactions, manipulation, industry standards, crunch culture, and false promises are an entirely different can of worms, but if people like something even though I don't think they're wrong. That's not how opinions work. Just because I have a couple 100,000 subscribers and know how to apply transition presets to a sans serif font doesn't mean I have the slightest fucking clue what I'm talking about ever. I know I've been bouncing around a ton of abstract ideas here, but I'll try to sum it up in the simplest way I can. At the end of the day, it's okay to like things that other people think are bad, or even that you think are bad. Keep on enjoying that game that your friends don't, or that a big YouTuber said is the worst thing ever created for a clickbait title. They just don't know how to have fun after spending 2 full months logging 100 hours into a video game they despise to make a point about manipulative game design or something stupid like that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a bit different in tone and style from what I've been making lately, so let me know if you'd like to see more stuff like this, or if it even made any sense. If you'd like to support the channel, subscribing is very cool, and I'll think you're awesome in the least parasocial way possible, and if you want to be even more non-parasocially awesome, consider throwing a couple bucks my way over on Patreon, which is linked in the description. We're all gonna die someday, so I might as well go out telling myself that Sonic Adventure 2 was actually fantastic. It's not the camera and controls that make me want to commit a crime every time I make it back to Mad Space. It's me. The concept that the things I like are bad would mean there's some higher standard of objectivity established by the Council of Gamers, but I've never met those guys, and they sound like assholes.
That's just about all I have to say about Sonic Adventure 2. It's really not a bad game.
Even though the game itself is objectively bad. Alright, you wanna make up your fucking mind or what?